Schizophrenia or split personality? What do you think? Well, many people believe schizophrenia is split personality. But here's the truth, that's a myth. Schizophrenia does not mean having multiple personalities. It is something far more complex and far more human. I'm Professor Shinaya Rathod, a psychiatrist in the United Kingdom. I post interesting videos on well-being weekly on my YouTube channel, so please don't forget to subscribe and you won't miss out on the next one. So let's imagine this together. You're walking down the street and suddenly you hear a voice, calm but insistent. Turn left. Keep walking. You look around and no one's there. The voice doesn't stop. Some days it whispers, other days it shouts. Sometimes it even argues with voices only you can hear. Or think you're sitting with a friend, you want to join the conversation, but your thoughts feel tangled, like your brain is playing a tug of war with words. Your sentences drift, fall apart, and you watch your friend's face twist in confusion. These are symptoms of psychosis. And this is what schizophrenia can also feel like. Not two personalities trapped in one body, but disturbances in thinking, perception, emotions, and motivation. Doctors diagnose schizophrenia when at least two major symptom groups are present for a month or more, and there are no other reasons why someone might be experiencing psychosis. Now, the symptom groups include delusions. Delusions are beliefs that don't match reality, and someone is convinced that that is true. For example, I might believe that somebody is following me, watching me, wants to kill me, and that's not true at all. The second symptom group is hallucinations, where people perceive things without there being any stimulus. For example, I might hear things, I might see things, I might smell things, I might feel things. The third symptom group is thought disorder, where our thoughts feel like they are scrambled or slowed down or too fast, and they just don't make sense, and people's speech therefore becomes a bit jumbled. There is another symptom group which is equally important but quieter. We call it negative symptoms. In this symptom cluster, people experience draining away of motivation, energy, emotion. Their voice can feel flat and expressionless, their behavior seems bizarre or purposeless or unpredictable, and they can even have some physical symptoms where they feel they have frozen in a certain position or they can't get up and do things. As I said earlier, these are symptoms of psychosis, but here is something important. Schizophrenia cannot be diagnosed if these symptoms are being caused by other reasons for psychosis, like a medical condition, like a brain tumor, or substance use like drugs or alcohol, or withdrawal from drugs and alcohol, or use of certain medications. There are many reasons, and sometimes it can also be stress-induced psychosis. In those situations, we do not diagnose it as schizophrenia. So you can see that to make a diagnosis of schizophrenia, someone has to be assessed over a period of time. Now, in children and teenagers, it can look different. Sometimes it starts with falling grades, social withdrawal, or odd behaviors before the more obvious symptoms appear. And because kids naturally have imaginary friends, irrational fears, or magical thinking, doctors have to be very careful before calling it schizophrenia. In fact, childhood onset schizophrenia is not that common. So if that's the reality, why do so many myths still exist? Well, one of the biggest myths is that people with schizophrenia are violent. The reality? They are far more likely to be victims of violence than perpetrators. Another myth says schizophrenia can't be treated. But with medication, therapy, and support, many individuals live full, meaningful lives. They are students, parents, co-workers, and artists. You've probably crossed paths with someone living with schizophrenia without ever knowing it. The hardest part isn't always the illness itself. It's the stigma, the way society whispers, you're broken, you're dangerous, stay silent. That stigma isolates people, makes them hide, and can be more devastating than the condition itself. But when stigma is replaced with compassion, everything changes and hope returns. Recovery becomes possible, and people living with schizophrenia can step into their lives fully, not defined by the diagnosis, but by who they are. So let's set the record straight. Schizophrenia is not split personality. It's a condition that affects real people with real challenges, and with the right support, there is real hope. If this video shifted how you see schizophrenia, please share it. Talk about it. Replace fear with understanding and replace stigma with compassion. Because the more we understand, the closer we get to a world where people living with schizophrenia are not defined by myths, but by their humanity. Please subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed today's video. The more subscribers I have, the more YouTube gives me the ability to make more creative videos. Like it, share it, tell it. Tell it to all the people you know. And thank you for watching.